Okay, so I'm going to move on the GTA 6 discussion now to stuff that wasn't actually discussed or released within the disclosures this week, because there's been a lot of rumors going on. And I thought it'd be fun to actually discuss the plausibility of some of those rumors. There was a media marked leak suggesting that the game would have quality and performance modes. I don't think that one is particularly plausible. For various reasons, which we've discussed in the past. I mean, maybe there will be. We just don't know at this point. We're just sort of still of the belief that when you're dealing with a simulation of this quality, the CPU time involved is going to be beyond the current generation consoles. Even the PlayStation 5 Pro. PlayStation 5 Pro, you could sort of ramp up graphics there. That seemed like a bit sort of implausible. I mean, everything's still to play for, right? Because even in Sony's plays best on PlayStation blog posts, there was no discussion of PlayStation 5 Pro features or indeed a 60 FPS performance mode, which you'd think they would want to get into there, but alas not. There was also an interesting leak concerning PlayStation 5 Pro features. Now, this one's kind of bizarre. We're kind of reaching a bit, I think, here, maybe in some respects, but a major Brazilian retailer, Kaboom, said that there's going to be PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. I think we can agree with that. I think the list here is oddly specific to the point where maybe there is something to it. So let's talk about the enhancements that were discussed here. Advanced ray tracing with improved global illumination. Well, we know that there is RTGI on the trailer, and that was running on a base PlayStation 5, so makes sense. Realistic reflections on cars, waters, and the environment. Well, I think we've already discussed that that's happening anyway. Could it be enhanced on Pro? Possibly. Dynamic weather that affects physics and gameplay. We're just talking about basic gameplay features at this point, but this one is interesting. More stable frame rates, FPS, on PlayStation 5 Pro. This kind of makes sense because it's not promising 60 FPS. It's just promising smoother performance on the Pro, which, if it is a 30 FPS game, tighter adherence to the 30 FPS cap makes a lot of sense. Higher resolution on PS5 Pro kind of makes sense. Native optimization designed to take advantage of PS5 Pro hardware kind of points to PSSR2. Oliver, the source of this information is very, very obscure to the point where probably we should rule it out. But that said, what's being discussed here is plausible, right?
It is plausible. It is plausible, if only that it seems quite realistic, I would say. Like when we're talking about better ray tracing, more stable frame rates, higher resolutions, like these all sound like kind of very realistic prospects, and also not that exciting prospects. Like I think you'd hope for PSSR2 on this title, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
For a title that's releasing on PS5 Pro with this graphical fidelity. That would be kind of unfortunate if it did not ship with PSSR2, although perhaps they've cooked up some custom upscaler, or maybe they're using some variant of FSR or something that's actually got the game in reasonable shape, who knows. But this all seems like very typical boilerplate language for many PS5 Pro games that I see that don't ultimately look that much better on PS5 Pro. I will say that, because usually you're looking for one of those kind of headline features like PSSR2. I mean, obviously improved ray tracing, improved GI, that could make a difference. But when you look at the game on PS5 base, the PS5 base model in that second trailer, it's already got pretty high quality RTGI, high quality RT reflections. It's not obviously missing some step when it comes to those features. Obviously, we know from the GTA 5 Enhanced Edition on PC, perhaps those features are improved. You know, they certainly have many quality settings they could select there potentially. So it's entirely possible those features would be meaningfully improved on PS5 Pro, but I'm also thinking maybe it could be not that significant in the context of the game's overall appearance and look. So I'd hope that would make a difference, but I'm not quite sure what to make of these leaks, because there was a leak prior to the pre-order period for this title that said that it would be a 60 FPS title, specifically earmarked 60 FPS. So I think in some cases these retailers can just kind of come up with copy that might seem plausible. It might get posted to their website. It might be some kind of like example text, some kind of like lorem ipsum they've drafted for this purpose. but ultimately, it doesn't actually materialize in the final game. So I would be appropriately skeptical of this. But if it were to be true, and also the other area of skepticism that I have is I believe the game is up for pre-order right this second. So why wouldn't they post this information before pre-ordering? Indeed, this game does not really have all that much information published about its performance in the various consoles in the first place. And I would really hope to see some more information on that in due course, certainly well before the game arrives. But yeah, who knows if this leak is correct? Looks plausible. Maybe it is plausible, maybe it is true, but we'll really have to see on this one. And I would hope for PSSR support. That would be top of mind for this title.
Yeah, maybe that is the native optimization designed to take advantage of PS5 Pro hardware. I guess
Could
the
be,
other thing is that in the era of AI-generated summaries pretty much everywhere, I guess an AI could come up with this quite conceivably as well. Tom, is there anything that you'd like? Well, I mean, what would you like to see from a PS5 Pro version within the realms of possibility?
Well, within the realms of possibility is the catch there. I think baseline PSSR2 support and I think maybe 120 hertz support with a 40 FPS variant. That might be nice. If they're supposing we don't have 60 FPS on the base console, that would be a nice lift for the Pro version. And I don't know, settings boosts would obviously become welcome, but it's hard to get a read on what the settings layout would be for the game. Improved GI would obviously be a winner. So I suppose it's the quality of those rays, the quality of the RT that we're getting from the base PS5 and how that look on the Pro. It's hard to say.
Okay.
It does scale, the game does scale well. Like Rage Engine titles previously have scaled with improved LODs, and that's probably one of the ones I'd like to see, PSSR, improved image quality.
One thing that I would say, actually, as one thing that could be interesting, is if you look at GTA 5 Enhanced Edition on the consoles, when you look at the quality of the ray traced reflections in that title, in the quality mode, it uses a cube map fallback for any objects that are more than maybe 20 feet out from the player.
Mm-hmm.
And indeed, in that little video clip they published, I did notice maybe there was a little bit of a discordance between the objects that were clearly being reflected that were further away from the perspective of the camera and the ones that were closer a little bit, and the ground and background seemed to mismatch. So I do wonder, hey, maybe there's actually a considerable optimization on the PS5 or something that would have them falling back to that cube map solution at a closer distance. Whereas, certainly in high-end PC right now in the GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, you can push out the distance at which they're relying on cube maps to such a point that it really isn't apparent in typical play, whereas it is quite apparent in the consoles. So there are all kinds of things like that they could do. They could push out that ray tracing distance. But this is all speculation on speculation on speculation.
Yeah.
And I think that, hopefully they would actually push out that distance considerably even on the base console.
The website is usually a good way to gauge where the upgrades are on PS5 Pro enhancements, better than usually the PlayStation Store on the console itself. You can go to the website, and usually they've got a box out further down the page on any game title saying, here are the Pro enhancements, here's exactly what it does. Nothing on GTA 6. So I can only fathom that maybe it's still being ironed out. Maybe they want to get the exact bullet points right before they go official with it. But we'll have to see.